Hey everyone, welcome back for another episode of the Moreno Show. I hope you are feeling good today on this beautiful Sunday, but we are going to be talking about some heavier topics today, some controversial topics today. So I just want to go ahead and jump right into it. We're going to be talking about what happened last night in Governor Shapiro's home in Pennsylvania, where an arsonist literally set it on fire while his family was inside. This is absolutely disgusting. We're gonna show some photos of what happened. We're gonna talk about how this has developed, as well as go into some people's perspectives on this event. And we're also going to talk about this physical examination results that we got from President Trump. As you guys know, on Friday, he took a physical examination and he promised the results on Sunday. And he also took a cognitive test here. You can tell that there's a neurological section here. So I thought that was really awesome. And we're going to go ahead and talk about it, as well as talk about some of the conspiracies around what's happening and the criticism that he is now facing regarding this moment. We're also going to talk about this clip that was shared by HHS as Dr. Oz talks about what he is going to be doing to make America healthy again. I believe this is the first video that we're seeing from Dr. Oz after his confirmation from HHS. So this is going to be really interesting to check out. But I do want us to start here with this tweet shared by Governor Shapiro. So let's go ahead and jump right in. Also, guys, if you like having conversations like this, if you think they matter, please consider liking and subscribing. It's one of the best ways you can support what we are building. Okay, let's dive in. So Governor Josh Shapiro of Pennsylvania tweeted this morning at 7:30 a.m. He shares, last night at about 2 a.m., my family and I woke up to bangs on the door from the Pennsylvania State Police after an arsonist set fire to the governor's residence in Harrisburg. The Harrisburg Bureau of Fire was on the scene, and while they worked to put out the fire, we were evacuated from the residence safely by Pennsylvania State Police and assisted by Capitol Police. Thank God, no one was injured, and the fire was extinguished. Every day, we stand with the law enforcement and first responders who run towards danger to protect our communities. Last night, they did so for our family. And Lori and I are eternally grateful to them for keeping us safe. Pennsylvania State Police is on the scene leading this investigation. Will keep the public updated. Thank goodness. And guys, I do have some good news here, as shared by Fox 29 of Pennsylvania. Check this out. Police have arrested and charged 38-year-old Cody Bomber of Harrisburg for the incident. So this was just reported on just a few, maybe like an hour ago. So thank goodness for that. But I also wanted to share some photos of the damage caused, because whenever I was reading that tweet and I was kind of just exploring what had happened, I was like, oh man, well, thank goodness it sounds small. But no, not at all. This is a big deal. These rooms were literally set on fire. Look at all this. Passover crafts. This is just incredibly disappointing. Look at this destruction all over the ceiling, all over the walls. Just entire rooms were just completely consumed by the life of the fire. And this is just really heartbreaking to watch. You could tell that they were expecting guests and preparing for them. And yeah, it's just really, really disappointing. We have this by JD Vance in response. He says, thanks be to God that Governor Shapiro and his family were unharmed in this attack. Really disgusting violence. And I hope whoever did this is brought swiftly to justice. Attorney General Pam Bondi says, I am deeply relieved that Governor Shapiro and his family are safe. Thankful for the first responders who arrived on the scene, and applaud the police work that resulted in an arrest just hours ago. Chris Cuomo says, every American should be against this and say so. You have to stop choosing only to get loud when it helps your perceived side. And I gotta just be honest right now. I love that all these people who I just mentioned, they've been so constant about this. They were denouncing the violence as it happened to Tesla, and obviously that closely affects Elon Musk and his company. But they denounced the violence on whenever it affected the right. But now that it's affecting the left, they're continuing to denounce violence. Why? Because this doesn't know, this shouldn't be a political thing. This should just be a human thing. We should be better than trying to express ourselves through violence. This is terrible. And I agree with Chris Cuomo here. He says every American should be against this and say so. You have to stop choosing only to get loud when it helps your perceived side. This isn't a left or a right issue. This is just a humanity issue. And I do think we need to be talking about this. This is crazy. Caroline Levitt posted this in regards to the physical examination. She says, as promised on Friday, President Trump's annual physical examination results. Check this out. That is the physician to the president right there. I'll go ahead and read this. Check it out. On April 11, 2025, President Donald J. Trump underwent his annual physical examination at Walter Reed National Military Medical Center. I performed and supervised the comprehensive exam, which included diagnostic and laboratory testing, as well as consultations with 14 specialty consultants, all in accordance with U.S. Preventative Services Task Force recommendations. The president has consented to release the physical exam findings to the public. Here you go. If you want to check out these vital statistics, I'll just read some. Age 78 years, height 75 inches, weight 224, resting heart rate 62 beats per minute. Look at this summary right here. Check this out. This is kind of interesting. A head, ears, nose, and throat examination of the head, ears, nose, and throat revealed no significant abnormalities with the exception of scarring on the right ear from a gunshot wound. Wow. Earlier this week, we also talked about how I was excited to see the cognitive test, and I was wondering what test they actually gave him. So here we actually have more detailed. Look at this. A comprehensive neurological examination revealed no abnormalities in his mental status, cranial nerves, motor and sensory functions, reflexes, gait, and balance. Cognitive function assessed using the Montreal Cognitive Assessment was normal with a score of 30 out of 30. The patient also completed the patient health questionnaire and the generalized anxiety disorder 7 for screening of depression and anxiety, respectively, with scores within the normal range for both. There you go. We also have the laboratory results here. Look at this. You go ahead and check that out if you want to screenshot or pause. And look at this summary by the doctor. President Trump remains in excellent health, exhibiting robust cardiac, pulmonary, neurological, and a general physical function. His active lifestyle continues to contribute significantly to his well-being. President Trump's days include participation in multiple meetings, public appearances, press availability, and frequent victories in golf events. President Trump exhibits excellent cognitive and physical health and is fully fit to execute the duties of the commander-in-chief and head of state. There we go. Now, like I mentioned earlier, not everyone thinks this is all sunshine and rainbows. Someone says they're not buying any of it in response to President Trump's cognitive function, although he scored although his score was normal with a score of 30 out of 30. And guys, look at this. This post has over 1 million views. And whenever I see things like this, I'm a little bothered by it, honestly. As someone who had experienced all the outrage from the right, as a lot of people were saying, oh, President Biden, he needs to take a physical exam. He needs to take a cognitive test. And President Trump said on Air Force One with the press, he says, I wanted to be different than President Biden. If you ask me, that's pretty, that's very wholesome. And I think that's amazing. But I do think that it's interesting how so many people who are criticizing President Trump, I'm like, do you just want less information? Do you not want this kind of transparency from the Trump administration? Like, what do we want here? We want transparency so then we get more information and then we're uncomfortable with information because it doesn't affirm what we actually have stubbornly believed. And now we're just what? We just don't like it, so we denounce the results. I'm like, I don't know if I drink that juice. I really don't. I saw this from Miranda Devine. She says, why can't we get this from Joe Biden? Of course, we know why. And she quoted the doctor says President Trump exhibits excellent cognitive and physical health and is fully fit to execute the duties of the commander-in-chief and head of state. Very interesting. And that quote was also reshared by the rapid response page. So all this is very, very interesting. And you could probably go ahead and look a little bit more at this. Look at the social history, lifelong abstinence from tobacco and alcohol. There we go. For everyone who is watching this and they genuinely wanted, like more information, they don't think it's thorough enough. I do want to say I do think this is a win. I think this is net positive. Like on the side of we could have gotten nothing. We could have gotten no information here. This didn't have to be public, but it is. So I do think that's worth celebrating. Now, I saw this from HHS. Dr. Oz shares some words as well as a vision and some gratitude going towards President Trump, as well as Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. So I thought this was amazing. Check this out.
Great societies protect their most vulnerable, and we are great people. As the 17th administrator for the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services, I pledge that CMS will provide Americans access to excellent care, especially those who need our help the most. This advances youth, those with disabilities, and our seniors. I believe we have a generational opportunity to give people power over their health and to save our healthcare system from costs that are rising faster than our economy. America, my friends, is too great for small dreams, and CMS will work hard to bring to life the best ideas in healthcare. And one of my first priorities is going to be to crush fraud, waste, and abuse. I'm going to have more news on that coming soon. I want to thank President Trump for his courageous desire to make America healthy again and for choosing me to support that mission. I also want to thank Secretary Kennedy for bravely heading the charge at HHS and having confidence in my leadership. Together, we're going to provide access to better care, deliver better outcomes, and make America healthy again. It's time to roll up our sleeves and get to work.
I love it. I really do. I think some of this is a bit cheesy, but honestly, in the season that I'm in right now, I like cheesy. He literally says, it's time to roll up our sleeves and get to work. I love it. I want more of it, and I'm excited about it. But what do you think about that? I also wanted to share this post by the White House. It is a message from President Trump. Check this out. Presidential message on Holy Week 2025. I know this is a really meaningful week to a lot of people, myself included. President Trump says, this Holy Week, Melania and I join in prayer with Christians celebrating the crucifixion and resurrection of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, the living Son of God who conquered death, freed us from sin, and unlocked the gates of heaven for all of humanity, as well as this picture of President Trump and Melania in a church. Amazing. So good. Anyways, guys, let me know what you thought about this conversation. Please let me know what you think about what we saw with Governor Shapiro and the terrible thing that happened in his home. Let me know if you genuinely are just sick and tired of the political violence that has affected our culture like a disgusting virus that just needs to be calmed. And tell me how you feel about that. Let me know what you also think about the physical examination results that we got from President Trump. Do you like this? Do you not like this? Do you wish we had less information? Or are you going to actually applaud the amount of transparency that we are receiving here? And you know what? Some people are also being very skeptical of some of these statistics that we are seeing. They're criticizing some of President Trump for his height or his weight. And I do want to share one thing here, and it's President Trump, no matter what these results said, no, regardless of what they said, the left was going to criticize President Trump anyways. Okay. If it's good, they were going to say it was fabricated. All right. And if it was bad, they were going to say, I knew it all along. This is what happens when we deal with our personal biases. They blind us, they mislead us, they stain us, and I think we need to watch out for it. We need to be careful with it. Anyways, guys, let me know what you thought about all this, and also let me know what you think about Dr. Oz. Are you excited? Or are you skeptical? I'm genuinely curious. You know what we love here? We love this 360-degree perspective. So let me know what you think about all this. To me, I don't know if I'm talking at you more than we are having a conversation with each other as we go through the news cycle every single day. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for being on this journey with me. I'm grateful for it. I love it. And please consider liking and subscribing if you want to be part of elevating these conversations in the future. And also, if you want to support me in a more meaningful way, please consider being a paid subscriber to the Substack, because that really just means the world to me as well. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. I'm grateful for you. I love you all, and hope you have a beautiful, beautiful day. Episode's over already? Geez, that was fast. Well, they say beautiful things do not last forever, but feel free to watch and listen to another one of these episodes if you're interested in those conversations as well. Also, this next part is huge. Make sure to obliterate that like and subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so you never skip a beat. I also have a newsletter where we dive into the news, politics, and ideas that shape our future. If you're interested in signing up, I'd really appreciate that. Anyways, that's the end of this episode. Thank you so much for watching and listening, and I'll see you next time.